Hey there folks, how's it going? So I finally bowed to the pressure. I didn't think I would ever get one of these things. Still not 100% convinced, but everyone seems to love them so much. I thought I'd better give it a try. But first of all, we need to get it out of this big box. So let's do that. Well, okay, so this is the Ninja Foodi 7.6 litre dual zone air fryer. It's a tabletop convection oven really, but you know, I'll keep that to myself. Well, we'll have a look. Let's have a close look at the box. It's got 2 independent cooking zones. You can cook different foods ready to serve at the same time. Allegedly up to 75% faster than fan ovens and up to 75% less fat, which that makes sense. I can imagine that's true. Let's see about getting into it. I'm going to grab some of these bits on my phone because the camera's all set up and I don't want to move it around. So this is the, there's a bit of instruction on top of the box. It's got the sync mode. I'll have to read all this before obviously I actually get into using it. There's match. Cooking the same food in each zone. Set zone 1 and 2 to match. Fair enough. We've got a little envelope. So there's the instructions, and then we've got a dual zone air fryer quick start guide. So we'll get into all those in a bit, have a look at those. Ta-da! So there we go. I mean, this is the thing. It's always exciting. It's just like Christmas. I have lost the books. Quick start guide. In all honesty, the reason I wanted to get this is because, and I did promise myself I wouldn't get one, and I've resisted until now, but I do keep getting a few comments asking if the recipes on the channel can be cooked in an air fryer, and honestly I always have to sort of imagine so, but I don't know. I've not tested that, and I don't like to share a recipe with you guys unless I've actually tested it. And what this is going to let me do is test the recipes, not all of the recipes obviously, but the recipes that suit an air fryer. I'll be able to actually test whether they work in the air fryer, what settings to use, and hopefully help you guys to make the recipes at home in your air fryers. So I'm really excited actually to start getting to know this thing and just try it out really. Having never used one of these things before, I figure a good test might be some chips. So I've got 4 good quality Maris Piper British potatoes, russets I guess, if you're not in the UK. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make 2 batches, and one in each side of the air fryer, because the book says you don't need to parboil them. I'm quite interested to see how that turns out. So basically I'm going to do 2 potatoes just soaked and then air fried immediately. Dried obviously, and then 2 potatoes soaked, parboiled as normal, and then fully dried and air fried. So let's get into it, let's give them a go. I'm just going to peel these using my peeler real quick. Just there's something kind of calming about doing it. It's a real chill activity, you know. Now I've got big pan of cold water. There's no salt in this or anything. This is literally just to soak the chips once we've cut them, just to get rid of the starch. In cutting these, I'm just going to basically go with thickish cut. I'm not going fries, I'm going sort of thickish cut British chips. So I'm just trying to keep the size of these fairly even. You don't have to be too precious about it, they don't have to be exact, but just as long as they're sort of a relatively similar size. Basically just slice these up. There we go. So, chips cut, and spill the water everywhere, why not? There's quite a lot of starch already in this water, so what I'll do is I'll take this over to the sink and I'll just change the water, and I'm going to let these soak for sort of 20-30 minutes just to really get any excess starch out, because for chips That always helps, and especially with it being the air fryer, I really want to give it the best possible chance that I can. I want to give it a fair crack of the whip, if you like. So I definitely want to get as much starch off of these as possible so that they might crisp up better. There we go. So I'll just let these sit now for about half an hour and we'll come back and then we'll do the parboiling. It is 30 minutes later. These have been soaking. Not a great deal of excess starch has come out in that time, but that's cool. Just worth soaking them just to be sure. So what I'm going to do now is split these into half. So I want to make 2 batches, as I mentioned. One I'm going to parboil, the other one not. That looks roughly even. These are the ones I'm going to parboil. So before I do that, I'm going to change this water because this is the water they've been soaking in and obviously might contain any excess starch. It looks quite clear, but I'll just change it anyway. And then I'm going to salt it and then onto the hob over a sort of medium-high heat from cold. But as soon as they come to a boil, I'm going to turn them off, drain them and let them steam dry. At the same time, I'll dry these ones so that both of the batches are dry when they do go into the air fryer. Decent amount of salt and onto the hob. So literally as these come to a boil, I'll just turn them off and drain them immediately. Okay, so while those steam, I'll just get these patted dry. As I say, I want them both to be pretty dry when they go in, as dry as possible when they go into the air fryer. So I'll first of all drain these and then I'll just pat them dry with kitchen roll. So if you're liking this sort of content, by the way, this is a kind of a bit of a new direction for the channel, a bit more of an informal sort of figure it out as we go kind of video. If you like this sort of thing, if you're interested, do let me know. Give me a like, let me know in the comments, maybe even consider subscribing. It's totally free. Join me on my air fryer journey. Let's see where we go. So what we should have is 2 batches, completely dry and ready to air fry. So these are the ones that are steaming dry. I'll just give them a little toss to make sure everywhere's got plenty of access to steam. You know, didn't want that one. So I'll just give those a few more minutes just to finish steaming, and if they don't steam completely dry, that's fine. I'll use a bit more kitchen roll just to make sure they are completely dry, so we've got a nice fair comparison. Okay, so these have had a good sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes just to really sort of steam and dry. Pop these out onto kitchen roll because as they cool and stop steaming, water will start to condense back onto them. And as you can see, that parboiling hasn't made a huge difference. They're slightly, very, very slightly cooked. But what I'm actually looking for is for the outside to be a little bit more cooked than the inside. That should help them crisp up. But again, I don't know how that's going to work in the air fryer. Quite looking forward to finding that one out, if I'm honest. One thing I do want to do with both of these batches, and I think the book tells you to do this, is to toss them in a little oil. So I'm going to just use some vegetable oil today. You could use a cooking spray for this. I don't have one. I might get one to try, but for now I'm just going to toss it in some vegetable oil. Just a little bit goes in there. So this is drawer number 1. This is the non-parboiled chips. Drawer number 2. So I'll just be slightly more gentle with these than I was with the others. It shouldn't break up, but it's just taking a little bit more care. Those are evenly coated. This is going into drawer number 2 and into the air fryer. Let's figure out how to switch this thing on. So the book recommends 200 degrees C for 23 to 26 minutes. So let's see if we can set that up. I guess we press air fry, 200, that's correct. And I'm going to go with 23 minutes to begin with. I think I hit the match button, get them both to do the same thing. And there we go, we are off and cooking. Let's come back in a little while and see how things are doing. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, let's see how we're looking. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, we've definitely got some frying on the go in there. Make sure they're all nicely separated. Okay, these are the ones that were parboiled. These have started to brown more quickly. Let's pop that back in and let it continue. So one initial observation is that this thing is pretty loud. Not the end of the world, it's a kitchen appliance at the end of the day. It's louder than I expected. I don't know how well it comes across on the video. but yeah, it's certainly louder than my extraction, it's louder than the oven, it's louder than pretty much anything else in here, I think, except maybe the washing machine. So yeah, I can see that it would get a bit old, but as I say, not a problem, just an observation. Okay, so that's the 23 minutes. These are the non-parboiled chips. They're looking reasonably good. They actually feel quite crispy, but I do think they, see the white bits here, I think they would benefit from that extra sort of couple of minutes. So I'll pop those back in. And then these are the ones that are parboiled. These are looking really crisp. So I did shake these 2 extra times during cooking. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop these back on for another 2 minutes. And we'll just let them finish off. Right, so these are done. They're mostly crisp. What I'm going to do with both of these is, immediately as they come out, I'm going to give them a good seasoning. These are the parboiled ones. Those are looking crispier to my mind. So these are the ones that weren't parboiled. These have literally just been chipped, soaked, and then air fried for 25 minutes altogether. And they look okay. They browned. They've not got that fluffy interior that I really like, and they certainly aren't as good as a proper deep fried chip, but they're much better than oven chips. They're not as crispy as I'd hoped, but maybe a little bit more time. I just didn't want to brown them too much. Let's try the parboiled ones. Straight away, I can see a difference. The surface is slightly more sort of glassy. Looks a little bit more like a deep fried chip. Crunchier too. Not massively, and still nowhere near the level of a deep fried chip, but definitely more crunch to them. That little bit of seasoning comes through. The seasoning feels like it goes deeper, if that makes any sense. I would have to say I'm quite impressed. I think this has done a really good job. As I say, much better than oven chips. I think I would, it's a bit of a faff, but I think I would do the parboiling if I was doing these again, just because, as I say, that exterior is sort of slightly more crunchy, slightly more glassy. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with the non-parboiled ones. If you know, short on time, just chip them up, throw them in. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those. They taste good, and as I say, a massive improvement on oven chips. Impressed. Wish I'd got one earlier. So there we go. That's my first experiment with the Ninja Foodi 7.6 litre air fryer, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed. What do I like about it? It's quick. It does what it says on the tin. The food it made was good. Things I don't like about it: it's loud. There's no getting away from that. It's really noisy, and it is a bit of a faff to clean. The drawers, it does say in the book they are dishwasher safe. They're kind of big, so even if they are dishwasher safe, putting them in the dishwasher, it's going to take up most of the space in there. Is it as good as deep fried? No. And is it going to replace deep frying for me? Absolutely not. But for what it does, you know, I think it's absolutely great. You don't really need fully deep fried, freshly made, and the hassle of making them on a weeknight evening, for example. And I think for that use, it's going to be absolutely perfect. I'm interested to try it with other types of foods. Obviously, all of this is just my 2 cents. I've never really used an air fryer before. I've got no yardstick to measure against, but for my money, yeah, pretty useful piece of kit, and I'm sure I'll find some use for it. So there we go then, folks. This is the Ninja Foodi dual zone 7.6 litre air fryer. Please do let me know down in the comments what you think I should cook in it, because as I say, I have got no idea. I am planning to try Scotch eggs and develop a Yorkshire pudding recipe. It's guaranteed to work though. But anything else, up for grabs, let me know in the comments. Oh, and if you don't have an air fryer, if you've been thinking about getting one and you want one similar to this, I got this one from Currys. It was £230, I think. But I'll leave a link in the description down below to Amazon. Argos didn't have any in stock, like anywhere except for Peterborough. But Currys was fine. Or as I say, link in the description.